I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love, moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love, moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire.
일어나세요. 내일 준비해야 된대. 일어나세요.
Why, baby, why? Why, baby, why? Why, baby, why? I just wanna know.
일어나세요.
Why, baby, why? Why, baby, why? Why, baby, why? I just wanna know. Did you pause for a minute? Did you even feel it? Yeah, you felt it. For a minute. Why, baby, why? Why, baby, why? Why, baby, why? I just wanna know. Why, baby, why?
10분 뒤에
Why, baby, why? Why,
나와야 돼.
baby, why? I just wanna know.
알지?
It was in the air. It was a smile. I was humming. You were whispering something. Did you feel it? Did you ever feel it?
엄청 풀고 있어.
You said you felt it. You were in it. We lived deep. You got me wrong and I got you wrong. Baby, you got me wrong and I got you wrong. Baby, baby, you got me wrong.
girls with pretty mouths, they always walk your way. They follow you in cars and bars and even on airplanes. I'm special, yeah, I'm special, 'cause they just don't got, oh, they just don't got what I've got. I'm someone you can take home to meet your mom and pa. I'm your trashy little cupcake dressed in polka dots. So be a loudmouth Yankee lady, baby, you're just the cowboy that I'm looking for. It's gonna take time to get there. It's gonna take some time, I wanna make it fast. It's gonna take time to get there. It's gonna take some time, you wanna make it last.
Oh, sing now to me, baby. Won't you sing to me your name? I've been looking for something crazy. I've been looking for something to tame my sinner still, my criticizing, my hopeless heart that just wants to come on home.
When your heart feels like a cracked windshield, shattered in a wreck, you're too broke to even fix it, and it's all that you got left. Oh babe, I'll take the crumbs, I'll take the keys, I'll take anything you got. It's gonna take time to get there. It's gonna take some time, we wanna make it fast. It's gonna take time to get there. It's gonna take a while, we wanna make it last. It's gonna take time to get there. It's gonna take a while, we wanna make it fast. It's gonna take time to get there. It's gonna take some time, we wanna make it last.